Which one you want to be?
I think I'm leaning towards orange, actually.
All right. Well, you will be an orange for the day, maybe a tangerine. That's just the way Jason's going to be in the Master of Unlocking podcast today. So, Jason's been messing with cameras. We're trying to figure out which color he would like to be. We're going to continue with orange. We had a nice, very yellow radiation version, full of Mountain Dew, just ready to roll. But we didn't have Mountain Dew at Taco Bell this week. We had the Big King at Burger King.
The Bacon
The
King.
Bacon
King.
King.
I thought it was the Big King. Sorry, the Bacon King.
Oh,
Uh,
if they have a big version of this,
no, yeah, because this was already two patties, right? If I, two
Yes,
patties,
two
bacon,
Whopper patties,
two Whopper
basically.
patties, bacon, mayonnaise, the works,
Ketchup.
ketchup, and mayonnaise. Yes,
That was it.
that was it. Uh,
Cheese. Sorry, cheese. Do we
oh
mention
yes,
cheese?
cheese. Yes, cheese. There's always got to be
Cheese.
cheese on there.
Mm-hmm.
God, we kind of texted a little bit about this, but God, did I feel like hell afterwards.
it was too much food. Well, especially
Just
because the deal in the app was the combo.
Mm-hmm.
So like you got to get you. I mean, you got to get it right. Like it just doesn't
yeah.
make any sense to spend $3 extra on just a sandwich.
The deal, Caleb, was it was $6, right, for both. Where no, for fries, drink, Bacon King, right?
It
Six
was
dollars.
yeah, $6. Yep.
So I made the assumption that, well, I just won't get the combo because I don't really want any more food than this requires. I'll just get the sandwich. And surely the sandwich is less than the coupon for the drink and the fries. No,
No,
no.
it was like
Just the
nine
sandwich
fifty.
just the sandwich alone was like just under $10. I she's like 9.80 something. I'm like, I didn't do that right then. But I'm rolling through there. I'm like, oh well. But
Right.
I realized I was like, should have just used the app. Yeah, should
I
have just done that.
I had multiple coupons applied, and it still like some. Well, sorry, I had one coupon applied, and it completely freaked out on me because I had the free kids meal. That's the
Mm,
Oh,
coupon,
really?
and
Okay,
by the
yeah.
time it was all over with, I somehow spent like $28. I mean, it was for four of us, so. But I got the receipt and started looking at it, and I have basically I felt like I saved 50 cents. Fuck. I
yeah.
was like,
Sure.
because it said, I think it said my total before I checked out was 17 something, and then I've clicked pay, and I got my like Apple Pay through the app thing, and it was just like $28. I'm like, what the hell happened here? And I just said, you know what? I'm not even gonna fight this because this is just it was cold, and I just wanted my food.
Yeah.
I've never gotten the app to work, Logan. You actually got it to work, but I tried Apple Pay. I've tried it twice, and both times it was like, we can't do this. We refund your money.
It
Really,
worked for me.
The app has never worked for me.
I can't get the Taco Bell app to work, so.
Really, that's interesting. I
Hmm.
wonder if it's different banks or different like payment authorization
Oh, I
stuff.
can't
I
get
bet
anything
that's
to
what
even
it
stay in my
is.
cart at Taco Bell. Like
Oh,
it says you've been logged out. Like
huh.
I'll put two things in my cart, go to click something new, and it's like, sorry, you've been logged out.
Weird.
Yeah.
I never had problems with that one either.
So we talked about the size of this sandwich,
Hmm.
which I don't know whether I like the size of it. Maybe not worth like impacting a score because it is too much food. But
Hmm.
that aside, what did everybody think about the actual food?
Mine was a little dry.
Yeah. That's the problem when you start getting a bunch of burgers, especially BKs. When you start getting a bunch of patties on there, you just taste the dry beef. That's you can put as much mayo and ketchup on it as you want, but some of those bites are going to be pretty dry.
Hmm.
I got the hookup. Somebody somebody mayo ketchup to me just right.
Mm.
Yeah, just right. Like it was like it was explode. You know, you open up the wrapper and the wrapper's like the wrapper had the condiments like
Just gooing
goo,
out.
gooed
Hmm.
on it. So I knew I was like, oh yeah, somebody sauced me up here. But I think that's the only way I was able to finish it in one sitting is because it was properly condimented. Because
Hmm.
otherwise, the girth of this thing is like
Yeah.
It's like fucking biting into a boat.
I had not eaten all day, and I was still like the last 3 bites. I was struggling to get through.
I felt like, yeah, I definitely didn't eat all my fries, that's for sure. But I also felt like the fries weren't as good as they usually are either. I
Oh, I
usually
got
like,
the onion rings, and I forgot how good Burger King's onion rings are. I
mm,
love those things.
I think have you guys ever had the Burger King ranch? I don't want to get on another category here, but
mm,
as far as it's my favorite fast food ranch, easily. And
really?
that includes Chick-fil-A. That includes like high class. Yes, absolutely. Their ranch is A tier, but I think that is the only reason why I can get through their fries is the ranch. That's the only reason I can get through it. I'm gonna give the Bacon King a 7. I thought it was fine. I
I'm
liked it. I'm gonna give it a 7.
gonna go with
uh,
6.
yeah, I was thinking more of a 6. I was almost gonna go with a 5, but it's okay. It's
Mm.
fine. It's just a lot of okay.
It is. I think I like if we. I don't know. I generally like the Whopper flavor. I like that
Oh,
flame
I do
grilled
too.
flavor.
I like the Whopper. I think
Yeah.
I
So
would rather have a Whopper than this.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, see, I guess that's different because Whopper's just this with veggies instead of like bacon and cheese,
Hmm.
right?
But it's
yeah.
also special sauce. I mean, it's not just the straight mayo, is it?
Whopper?
It's
No, I
Whopper
mean,
sauce.
No,
it's
yeah.
separate.
Yeah, it's Whopper sauce. So,
There's a
okay.
Whop,
separate sauce for Whoppers.
Whoppers don't have a sauce. They're not like Big Mac sauce. No, it doesn't do like
What?
Thousand Island Russian. Mm-mm. It's just mayo, ketchup.
Yeah,
Is it?
mayo and ketchup. That's all it is.
No, it's
Oh, I
not
thought it was
soused. It's not a mix.
maybe I just thought, it was such a fancy sauce that I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, no, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think it has them separately
Maybe it
squirted.
is just it must just be the lettuce and tomato and,
Yeah,
the single
I would.
patty.
I'm with you though. I'd rather have the lettuce and the tomato than the bacon. I think. I
Yeah. At least from Burger King, that's for
yeah.
sure.
I think it does a nice. It does a nice like it complements that patty really nicely because all that acid from the veggies kind of cuts through it
Hmm.
nicely.
Yeah.
And this was a lot of like you said, Kay. It's just a lot of just meat and then salty meat on top of meat.
Right.
So next week, are we going Monster or Baconator?
Well, here's the thing: is we
Oh,
got a bunch of new stuff we could go to.
oh, we do. I didn't know if we were
Yeah.
gonna. Do we have some limited time things? I guess that we need to.
So it's Lent is starting, so
Oh,
there
so
are a
it's
bunch of
everything is
new
fish.
fish options.
I could do that. I could do a fish something.
The two that I saw on this are Culver's and Popeyes. This is the first time ever
Ooh,
that Popeyes has done a fish sandwich, so that kind of
Yeah,
makes me
I
lean that
think we
way.
got to go Popeye's fish sandwich here. I might get a chicken
done.
sando as a backup.
Yeah, yeah, not a bad
I
idea.
got both. I handled the Bacon King, so I could take down 2 Popeye sandwiches like
Yeah.
nothing.
Popeye's fries aren't that good. I'll just get 2 sandos.
Oh, their
There you
fries are
go.
great. You kidding
Are
me?
they? I don't.
I
Oh, they're
like the
real good.
Popeyes fries. Yeah, I do. I do
Aren't you?
too. I
Well,
like them.
let's put it this way. I think it's been a long. The last time I had Popeye's fries was when I think all three of us went and got the chicken sandwich. It would have been last fall. We went to a friend of ours' high school basketball game, and we went and we stopped at Popeyes on the way home.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was a late night Popeyes run.
It tasted real good that night,
Oh
for the
my,
record.
yeah, it did. It was real good. So okay, so we're doing the Popeyes fish sandwich next week.
Yeah, let me get a official name for you here.
Oh, because I'm sure it probably has a name.
Let me find it again. It is Talk Amongst Yourselves.
Okay, I did you like lose power, Jason, or did you just say like screw it, I'm turning all this stuff off to see?
I just figured I'd give it a shot, see if it was maybe the colors from the TVs that were messing with it. But even as I like put my head up and down or I look down at my
Mhm.
phone or whatever, same thing. Like it's still acting crazy. Crazy.
I don't know. I will say this. Your skin tone
Yeah,
looks normal right now.
yeah. This is the most normal you've looked of
Yeah,
all of your
maybe
testing.
maybe it's yeah, maybe it's just the colors from the TV are just too much for this
Maybe.
onboard camera is probably what it is. But if I do like this,
Yeah, it's auto adjusting.
So but
Okay, it's the new Cajun flounder sandwich.
Yep, that's
That's
about
what we're
right.
looking at.
The new Cajun flounder sandwich. I mean, that's seems to be about as ridiculous as it gets.
let's do it.
All right, Cajun flounder.
Cajun flounder.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. And we'll get into games this week where I jumped on a lot of flounders in Super Mario 3D World, plus
So
Bowser's
you've been
Fury.
playing the 3D world part of it.
I've dipped my toe into both so that I can make sure we have something to talk about. Keep in mind, I don't think I have played this by myself yet,
Okay.
because this is a multiplayer game, and boy, is there I mean, the multiplayer mayhem, I guess, if you want to call it that, in this has kind of taken over this household over here with because you can play up to 4 players in 3D World, so you just flip a Joy-Con sideways and you've got four. All you need is just a stick and a button, and you're good to go. 3D World's fun. I've never played that before, so did not own a Wii U, so I never played that. And we've been having a pretty good time with that. We're on like midway through World 4 at this point. There's usually about 5 or 6 stages per world, so those are we're doing good there. It's some of them we're now getting to the point now where, because the screen spreads so much and everything else when you move around, that the stages are getting a little more difficult to do that in, as you've got multiple players at once. I think we're gonna have to maybe shrink down to 2 for some of these, because it's just
Yeah.
my 9-year-old and I are probably
That
the
was
only
my
ones who can do
original
that.
frustration with the Wii U version, was like when you're trying to play multiplayer, it's just chaos because the camera cannot keep up
No.
with what everybody's trying to do.
No, not at all. It's better than that other the 2D Mario one with the multiple players. Like
Oh yeah.
that one was bad because it had collisions in it, and
Yeah.
you'd try to jump and you'd run into somebody, and you would just you were constantly dying by falling into pits and stuff. It was bad. This is a lot more controlled, but the thing is there's a point system, and you get points for collecting coins, keep picking up items, defeating enemies, and then also being the first and highest to jump on the flagpoles at the end. So it's a constant competition between all of us to see who can get the most points, and then the next level, that person gets to wear a crown. So it's a fun little thing to try to mess with. My youngest can never get the crown and is not too thrilled about that. But like, you got to jump on the flag. You got to race to it. And
You got to get good.
yeah, you got to get good. There's no messing
Gotta
around.
learn early.
Yeah, there's no prisoners in this house when it comes to video games. Like, we don't.
If you get last place, you got to run 3 laps around the house too.
Yeah, and it's negative 26 outside. You get.
Caleb, you joke, but that's the kind of thing I could see Logan implementing. If you weigh in and you're a little high on the scale, Logan could be that dad real easy.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
I don't know about weighing in, but that's
Everybody on the scale.
take a lap.
Yeah, I
So-
played the very first level of that, and then I was like, I just want to go play Bowser's Fury.
Which I don't blame you. I mean, if you've played 3D World already, then why would you want to dig back into it?
I never finished it. I might go back now, but I don't know. That part of the package was not the appealing part to me.
Okay. Yeah. So, I think you finished Bowser's Fury already,
I
didn't you?
did. I could not stop playing it yesterday.
How
Like
long
every
is
time
it?
I'm like, I'm gonna put this down and go do something else, and then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, nah, I just want to keep playing it. It's probably, if you just want to finish it, you're probably looking at like 4 to 5 hours.
Okay.
If you want 100%, probably close to double that.
That's not too bad. I mean,
Right.
especially considering it's kind of an add-on thing technically for this.
Yeah.
But if you were buying it as like for you buying it and not really caring about 3D World because you already own it, like, it's $60 is kind of heavy to pay for that. But for me, it's great.
It's like real close to being worth it just for Bowser's Fury for me. That thing is really cool.
It is. Yeah, that's Jason, do you have any idea what this is kind of what Bowser's Fury is?
I was looking at this. I literally had never heard the two words together before until Caleb said it last week.
Yeah.
So I was looking at. So this is 3D World, which was a Wii U game.
Yeah.
I'm asking. I don't know.
3D World was so think of them there are two completely separate games. Like when you turn it on, it says, "Do you want to play 3D World? Do you want to play Bowser's Fury?"
Oh.
And they
okay.
control completely differently. Because 3D World is 3D World is its own kind of thing. It's you run around on a pretty well a level. Like you have a stage.
Think of the traditional 2D like levels from a Mario game, and
like
then
Mario
just kind of
3.
make it 3D.
Because there's an overworld map like in Mario 3 where you're going from place to place, you're selecting different levels, but then Bowser's Fury is like Odyssey.
It's
Odyssey
quite.
Light.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
like
Odyssey
a mix
Light.
between the 3D, like the other collectathons like Odyssey and Sunshine and all those. It's kind of a mix between that and 3D World.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's a where my head goes just because of our conversations. I have no problem. Like Bowser's Fury seems like a standalone 2021 release to me. Correct? I mean, we're all in agreement about that, right?
I would argue that for sure.
Yeah, it's never existed before.
I'm not arguing against it. Like even if it were like an add-on to an existing game or whatever, this came out with Odyssey and the argument was DLC, I still see this as its own independent thing.
Yeah.
So as I kind of look at this and digest it for the first time, but also I'm realizing that Super Mario 3D World looks pretty good, and maybe
you can
I
also
should play
Bowser's Fury with two people.
Yeah, you can. We played it a little bit like that. It's okay.
Yeah, you don't really do a whole lot as a second player, but if it's an adult and a kid, it's actually kind of perfect for that. I would think.
The problem is I have to play as Bowser Jr., not Mario.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. See, when you say adult and a kid, it's But my 9-year-old's not that bad. She's actually pretty solid at Mario stuff, so I give her that. I'm just kind of sitting there like, okay, well, like I'll help her like navigate a little bit more.
Yeah, you can collect coins and stuff like that, but you're not going to be like a major contributor.
No, you're not. You're floating around in the little clown head thing.
Right.
I don't even know what that's called. It's got to have a name.
It's got to have a name.
Everything in Mario
the
has
cup copter.
Yep.
Yeah, what is that thing called? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but you're gonna be Bowser Jr. The cool thing about Bowser's Fury, I mean, it's like you'll just be playing along, and all of a sudden the sky gets dark, it starts to rain, and then Bowser just comes up out of the water out of nowhere and just starts throwing fireballs at you, and like it's from a graphical standpoint, it looks pretty solid for what it is. It takes forever to load when it the first time.
Does it?
Like from menu to load in. Oh my gosh, it took like 2 or 3 minutes for me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Like I was sitting there just like, thing ever gonna load up? Like once you're in the game, it's fine. But
yeah, never had that problem.
Oh wow. You got one of those fancy new switches, don't you?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
You switch fancy.
I was playing in docked mode. Maybe
so was I.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, because I quit out of the game several times too. Because at the end of the game, when you're just trying to do some of the more tricky platforming sections, and Bowser keeps coming at you and throwing fireballs, it's like, just go away.
Yeah.
But if you quit out of the game and then reload it, then he's not there anymore. So it's a way to like speed up the process. So I did that a bunch, and it would maybe 20 seconds, if that.
Oh wow.
Like,
yeah, mine was like really, really bad.
Yeah, so I think that would probably be my only negative about the game is like it gets to a point where Bowser just comes up way too often. Like it just gets annoying to deal with. But there are collectibles that you can only get when he's out too. So like they had to do a balancing act of like, well, we don't want you to be stuck just waiting around for him to show up so you can get this collectible, but also like we know it's kind of annoying when he does show up to do the actual platforming and stuff. So I think they did okay at it, but it did at times it got kind of annoying when he would show up. But other than that, man, I had a blast with this. Like it's one of the. I mean, I love collectathon games. You guys know
Mm-hmm.
that. So when you tell me there's X number of things to collect, I want to get them all. So like
Okay.
just having that checklist of each island, because the way
Mhm.
it's set up, Jason, is kind of there's probably, I think, I don't know, 10-ish islands that are all around this big open ocean area, and each one of those it'll have an initial collectible that's just light up the lighthouse, and usually that's just get to the lighthouse. And then after that, when you go back to the area the next time, the level will have slightly changed. So it's like, well, there are new platforms here. So we want you to, there's a timer on it now. So we want you to get up to the lighthouse quickly this time, but you have to use these new platforms. So kind of every time you go back, it's slightly different and a new challenge.
There's usually
It's
like 5 lighthouses per island, something like that.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
usually like a get to the top, a timer one, blue coins. Um, there's always
Defeat some
5 other
enemies.
collectibles
Mhm.
around. That yeah, usually it's just stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit repetitive, I guess you could say, but
But
you
each
kind of know what you're getting into,
Mhm.
like when you get to an island. So I kind of liked that aspect.
But each thing has a different kind of platforming aspect or different things, and some of them even have like, oh, here's these weird enemies to defeat this time, and it's like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, hey, every time you jump, this platform moves. So like
Yeah,
there'll be something like that, and so it's pretty solid. That's for sure.
yeah.
It looks good. I'm just looking at it a little bit here. Yeah, I'm curious. I might play this. I Some of the theme of my week, Logan mentioned it. Some of the theme of my week was video game boot camp here at the Link House,
Mm-hmm.
where we challenged my daughter to step up or step down. Not
Mm-hmm.
really. Um,
Get
but
on the scale or take a lap around the house. Your
yeah,
choice.
Mm-hmm.
like Logan said, it's cold outside. You
Better go
better come
fast.
correct. Yeah, don't. Nope, that's my Bacon King Junior. Not
Mm.
for you.
Oh, we had that fight. She took my Bacon King.
Did
So,
she?
yeah, I
Oh
was just
man.
like, she was like, "Can I try a bite?" Next thing, I was like, "There's mayonnaise on it." She's like, "Well, I'll still try it anyway." And next thing I know, 4 or 5 bites later, she's still going, and I'm like, "Hey, give me the king back."
It's my king. Matt King. I didn't want to. I didn't. Are you guys feel good about the Bowser's Fury update?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to take
No,
us
I think
off in a
we're
direction if you were still
no,
talking about
I'm good.
it.
I want to hear more about this boot camp.
Yeah. So, well, last week, Caleb. Let's talk about this together, Logan.
Mhm.
Caleb brought us another thing that I've not heard of. How do we pronounce this? Balan. Balan.
I don't know. Take your
Okay.
guess.
Balan Wonderworld. Logan, you also experienced this, correct?
I don't I don't want to talk about it.
No. Yeah, you're not going to be the
I don't know
same
if
ever
I'm
again.
ready I What the hell was up with that freaking farmer? Scared the
It's
shit out of me.
really weird, dude. It is. It's
I
so Japanese. I don't mean that to be
I
derogatory, but it is like
So, did you have your children play this? Because
Ellie and I played it. Yeah.
I played it first and thought, well, I'll have the girls come down here and check it out after it was done. I didn't want to have them see it. I thought they'd have nightmares. That thing was
It's
horrible.
it's really strange. It's really strange. It I don't even know what kind of game it is. Like
It's a platformer.
a platformer?
It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
trying to be Mario, I think. I mean, that's
it's
kind
trying
of
to be collectathon. It's trying to be Banjo Kazooie, but it's
Is
not.
it really? Because like the level structure is like, good God, it's so easy too. Because like, of course, it's easy to say it's bad because it is so obviously bad. But like, so I think Ellie has played it more than I have. We were hanging out. She knows how to turn on the PS5 now,
hmm
and God, this is another technical question. We can always
hmm
go off on tangents, right? I'm going to try to control myself. Does does my TV need to have some kind of setting on it, or did the Sony products train televisions via HDMI handshake to automatically change to that input and power on.
Yeah, that is a setting you could turn off if
It's
you
called
want
ARC.
to. Yeah.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about ARC.
Just
I
go
don't
into
know
your
what this
That's
is.
literally what it does.
It's an automated response control or something like that, and yeah,
within my PlayStation.
Your PlayStation, your
Mhm.
TV, and if you had one, a receiver would all have to support it down
Mhm.
the chain in order for it to work. So,
That's interesting. It's been around obviously a long time because my 1080 set upstairs,
Mhm.
which is still actually a really nice TV. It has, man, is that like a 2013 TV? 2014, 15? I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that. I'm trying
It's
to
a
remember when we
really
got that.
it's a really nice 1080 set. I mean, it was top of the line at the time.
Mhm.
But it has it
Mhm.
with my old PlayStation 4 does it upstairs, which is kind of nice because I lost the freaking the remote for it forever ago.
Mhm.
So I just grabbed the PlayStation 4. Or even Duncan knows how to turn on the PlayStation 4 now. My son, my 2-year-old,
Mhm.
like beep, and then the TV powers up.
Mhm.
But anyway, so my daughter knows how to do that, and I was like, well, stay away from the one with the guy's face, which was Resident Evil, which is Maiden.
Mhm.
It's like, stay away from that one.
I'll go to that one. Yeah.
But then I downloaded it last week when we were talking, and so there she is. She's playing Balan Wonder, whatever it is, this
Balan
game,
Wonderworld.
and she's watching the cutscene. Logan, did you watch the cutscene?
Oh, I watched it all. I've experienced Balan Wonderworld.
She's watching, and she's like, "Dad, when do I play?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't. This is the first time I've seen this. I have no idea." And she got in there though, and she jumped around and unlocked some suits, which is the thing that reminded me, like, hey, does this want to be a Mario with like these character suits? You're a kid running around in these environments, these worlds that you're going to, but beyond her playing it a little bit and me observing that it's not good and then getting her over some humps, like, it's what, I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable and I can't tell you why. It's almost like
It's the farmer.
the underbelly of Pee-wee's Playhouse, like the area you don't want to go to. That's what that game feels like to me.
it's just so confusing to me because it's like, who is this game for? Because it's not, if it's not for children, but it's like way too simple for adults. I don't get it. And this is this is a game published by Square, so it's like, what is going on over there?
I mean, just the whole time talking about this, I still have the stupid theme song in my head because it's the same like 8 notes over and over again. Like,
I am so glad you guys at least have some exposure to this because I needed somebody else to see this. I had to prove to myself it wasn't just a fever dream.
well, no, and then at the
That's
end,
a good way of describing it.
and then at the end, the girl and the farmer start having a little dance with the whatever the other random like pumper pig or whatever his name is. I'm disturbed by this whole thing. I haven't really been able to recover.
You know what the really sad part is? I'm gonna be looking at the trophy list for this. And I kind of want to play it.
I mean, how much is too much to pay for this thing, though? I mean,
Well, do you know the price of this?
it's a full price game, isn't it?
It's a full $60 game.
I mean, it's got to go down pretty fast, I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
When does it come out?
Next month.
I'm going to need a how long to beat on this thing.
Yeah. I'm going to be doing some research on this shortly after it comes out. And
why? What are you doing?
Because it is so weird. Like, I don't understand, and I want to understand.
I'm going to need you to record the whole playthrough of this. I mean, and I might have to just sit next to you with a camera on me, maybe, and just because I don't know if I can play it again. Like, I don't know.
Then we could just what we'll do is we'll just roll up a bunch of blankets into a giant ball, and then we'll have a camera on that and say, "This is Jason."
Yeah, just
Because that's where he would be if he was watching.
Not okay. Yes. Of all the things I thought Caleb was going to say tonight, that was a series of sentences, paragraph, whatever. I didn't think you would say any of that, and now I'm really just trying to digest that, and I'm not doing well. It's just not okay. I don't.
It's
I'm gonna look at the trophy list of this game. Are you gonna buy this?
I might. I don't know. It's like it's a train wreck. Like I just want to see it. I just want to keep staring at it because it's such a weird and terrible thing.
Listen, this is not the support group for people that are addicted to video games. If anything, we are the opposite of that. I would, and I understand that, but Caleb, we got to swing you by a meeting. This isn't healthy. This isn't good. We need to.
But can you imagine if like you went to somebody that knew what this game was and you said, "Oh yeah, I have the platinum trophy in that," just to see what their reaction would be?
That's the problem, though. It's going to work in a very small circle of 3, and it's this one.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not going to work anywhere else. You say that to someone at work, it's going to need, like, only like video game people, like video game people are going to get that joke. And I think it's just us, Caleb. I hate to break it.
It might be. It might be. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm going to look at the platinum I can't even get to the rest of your comments because the first one has me so perplexed.
I'm looking at some information about this game.
Information
because that's all I got. I don't know what else to say. They are claiming there are over 80 different collectible costumes that give people different abilities. So there's 80 of those. I mean, we saw 4.
Even in the demo, 2 of them were essentially the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Logan's favorite Pumper Pig, which is also my favorite Nick Jr. show, by the way. Pumper Pig.
Mm-hmm. That's what you take home from the bar late at night.
The 2:00 take home.
Take home the Pumper Pig. It appears that there are.
Look what I brought. It's a copy of Balan Wonderworld. Oh my God, marry me, Pumper Pig.
That'll work.
This is the game will play out in a series of 12 stories. Did we seriously play one of them already?
I have
maybe.
No idea.
Logan, did you guys finish the demo? I didn't finish it. I mean, my daughter
finished it. So you didn't fight the giant wolf thing and have.
I think she actually she got there. Yeah, she managed to get there.
So you didn't see the giant party at the end with the farmer? Maybe that's why you guys are okay, and I'm the one that's terrified.
Okay.
Because you might need to see that. Like that might change your views on this game because I don't know what else to say about that.
That solidifies it. Then I need to play this game. I need to buy it and play it and get the platinum trophy. And
Logan, have you ever just talked to like a crack addict and tried to explain to him why crack is bad? Like there's nothing you can do. They're gonna smoke crack. Caleb's gonna play Balan Wonderworld. There's nothing anyone can do about it, let alone us. I'd love to try, but I think Caleb's a lost cause and he's beyond our help. Frankly, there's nothing I could do. I'm just at a loss.
Yeah. So can we shift from Balan Wonderworld to something actually good and maybe talk about Maiden?
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of demos.
We're in demo world here. So that was I felt really dumb playing that demo. I felt like there was a lot of things that I don't know what the deal was. Finding those bolt cutters seemed like it was the hardest thing in the world. I don't know. Did you guys have an issue with that initially?
No.
This is in
somebody's back.
The prison, right?
Yeah, you're in the prison.
Yeah. Well, and they're not there. They're not there the first time you go there, right?
No.
Right.
So I don't know what I did to make them appear. I walked.
Yeah, so the first time I played it, I didn't have trouble with that. I don't remember what I did exactly, but I found him pretty quick. But then I was showing it to a buddy,
Mm-hmm.
and he was playing it, and we were wandering around there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
that was me.
yeah. So I get it. I don't know what the difference was between my playthrough and his though. So
Uh, looks real nice. I think that's the first thing I would like to say. Wow, that looks. If lighting like that, if that's what this is, where our next gen is, then sure, that looks real great. There was a lot of times in that big open foyer area where the dining room and stuff is. I just kind of kept walking in and out of the balconies, just going, "Ooh, that looks nice. Ooh, look at this
yeah,
view. Oh, look at how the chandelier looks with this angle."
It's the chandelier for me in that
Mm,
area that's just like, it's just, ugh, like you're looking at it
mm-hmm,
and the way, it's not just the way light is like creating shadow, but it's the way that it's bouncing off of the textures of
mm-hmm,
those like that model, right?
mm-hmm,
Like if that is where we're headed, it's not just about shadows, it's about the way like light is reflecting and
yeah.
then rebroadcasting into the environment.
mm-hmm.
Like,
The
oof.
room when you first leave the prison, the room with the door, and it's got all of like the warriors with their swords
Uh-huh.
pointed towards the door,
Oh
and then there's the
yeah.
one light source in the middle of that room.
And you can
That
run
room
into
is
it.
just beautiful.
Well, and you can run into it with your head, and it moves the
Oh, really? I didn't try that.
yeah. Well, I just
I didn't
ran.
know that
I
either.
walked straight through it, and it would hit like it was like a fire lantern, and when you hit it, it would kind of like it would shake it back and forth a little bit, and so the lighting effects in there were like, ooh, yeah. Uh, correct me if I don't know. I'm trying to remember back to Resident Evil 7. Was there a lot of crouching in Resident Evil 7?
A little bit. There were tunnels you had to go through at certain
Okay.
points.
I just felt like there was a excessive amount of crouching in this demo. I was like, why am I crouching so much? This seems odd.
Well, I think that's probably just because um, they wanted to have some sort of puzzle in there, but they didn't have a whole lot to work with.
It could be.
So
Yeah,
they were like, okay, we have a crouch button. Let's use that.
just crouch. I mean, whatever. But yeah, this looks like a pretty good environment to be in. Whatever it is, I like whatever they're selling me about these maidens and the people that run this house. And yeah, I like a big scary mansion. That,
And they
that's
they confirmed that that woman is indeed 9'8",
right.
which is cool.
I like that she's like has a like it is 9'8" too. It's not
Yeah.
like she's 9 foot or 10 foot. No, she's 9'8".
Hmm.
It works
Yeah.
out.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be. It looks solid anyway. I mean, seven's very good.
Hmm.
So if they, and this is a direct sequel. I mean, you're Ethan from Seven, right?
Yep.
I just want to make sure I understand that. So
I think so. Yeah.
they have the good foundation here. I'd like to know more about how this fits into the. As a fan of the series, I'd like to see how this story that they're
Isn't
telling fits into the overall story. And maybe I would know more. Did you guys play the Chris DLC from Seven? I
No.
did not. So I'm not sure if there's a that bridges the gap to from Seven to Village 8.
I
I don't know.
believe that there's something with like Chris in this. Now, whether it's tied to that DLC, I hope they tell us a little bit about that.
I'm gonna give myself a homework assignment. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. But I'm curious how this all goes into the overall story, and where I'm going with that is it'd be really nice. I think I'd like to see Resident Evil return to its roots a little
I
bit,
don't.
if not just a remake of one with all this new technical
Tech,
this
yeah.
new tech yeah this new technical um I don't know, like the where we're at now. I sure would like to see what Resident Evil 1 would look like, or a game in the series that is kind of the survival horror mansion roots of Resident Evil.
Maybe
I
that's
think
what
would
this
be
is gonna
cool.
be.
And maybe it is. And if it is, like if this is like, let's say this is like a property that's like close to the original mansion or something like that, you know what I mean, or the sister mansion to the original one. If that's where they're going with this, I would like to understand how this all fits together and ties together, because you've got 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 actually does a pretty good job in not taking it in this too wacky direction. But then you got 5, and then you got 6. You know what I mean? So they kind of go crazy. And then 7 has done a good job of like grounding it back, and I hope they continue to go in that direction and kind of tie it all together.
I think Resident Evil 7 is part of the that PlayStation Plus collection, isn't it? On PS5.
I believe you're right.
So I wonder if that has the DLC in it, or if that's just the base game.
I bet it's just the base game.
Okay.
It'd be nice if it was everything, but it's probably base.
Yeah.
We can look and find out in an app.
Yeah. I just went in here to look and see what the synopsis is. Resident Evil 7 is set a few years after, Resident Evil Village is set a few years after Resident Evil 7. Ethan Winters returns as the protagonist. Ethan has been living with his wife Mia when Chris Redfield suddenly appears and kidnaps him to a mysterious European village. That is the synopsis.
Okay.
So we know right away that this is not near Raccoon City then in any way, because it's in Europe.
Yep.
So okay.
Where was 4 took place in Europe too, didn't it?
Yes.
7 didn't take place in Raccoon City, did it?
No, it was
Louisiana, though. It took place in the States. Which is why, I don't know, like, all those, Jack is just such a great character, because you think he's just sick and messed up, and you start to learn there's way more going on, but he's got that good old boy in him, the way he talks early on. Boy, I'm going to show you something special. And he blows his freaking head off. Oh, my God, that game's fantastic.
Yeah, I loved all that part of 7. It lost me after they left the house.
It does go a little crazy.
Yeah. And they went on the boat and stuff. I was like, like, I don't know. It was just so good up until that point. That's where 7 kind of, not that it was bad, but the front half of that game was so good that
it kind of lets you know where it's going to, because it's Jack's wife. I can't remember her name, that character's name, but that fight takes it from like where you do like the birthday cake thing, which you guys know I freaking love, but then like all of a sudden she's crawling around on the ceiling and she becomes like this giant spider thing, and you're like, oh, this is a Resident Evil game, isn't it? And then you're right, Logan. After that, it just goes like people have tentacles and eyeballs and squid arms and just all sorts of gross things coming out of them. But before that, not too bad. Yeah, it's pretty not believable, but not insane.
Well, when you say it's more grounded.
Yeah.
As grounded as a zombie game can be. I mean, I guess if you want to call it that. So.
And this one, I don't know. I don't think we're getting that. I mean, I do like the demo a lot, and I think technically it looks good, but like, I think it's coming with the gross pretty early from the stuff I've seen.
Could be.
Which is fine. I'm sure it'll be good still, but it's not going to be I think some of the mystery is gone from 7 a little bit, because you're like, it's a very human mission he's on, and from the outside it just looks like a family that's like just cannibals, right? Like that's what it looks like. And then there's more to it, but on the surface of that, it's somebody's house and they're doing gross things, and they're like dismembering themselves, but everything is fine. But it's still not like, horrific monster people walking around. But I think 8 is going to jump right in. I mean, 9'8" lady. I mean, where else would we go from there?
Right.
With witch children.
And giant knives for hands and stuff. I mean, that's
right.
Yeah, it's perfectly normal. I mean, that's completely fine. Speaking of terrifying things, Caleb, you played Little Nightmares too.
Yeah, I've played 2 out of the 5 chapters. Okay. It's a lot like Little Nightmares 1.
Which that game is
for good and for bad.
Yeah.
It is fun. Like when you're doing the puzzle stuff, it's fun. What's interesting to me is I had the same feeling that you had about that Resident Evil demo with Little Nightmares. I feel stupid constantly in this game because there's only like 3 things you can run, you can jump, you can crouch. It's about it. You can hold on to stuff. And yet some of the puzzles I'm like, I have no idea what to do here. So I've had to look up a couple of times already. Like I'm completely stuck. I don't know where to go. The thing that I think they didn't really learn their lesson about from the first game was the 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 enemies. Um, they'll so you'll be like, trying to sneak around shadows or whatever to avoid like the big enemy people, and they will just absolutely destroy you if they catch you. And those can get pretty frustrating because it's not real clear on when they can see you and when they can't. And their patterns of they'll just all of a sudden turn around for no reason, and then you'll be standing out in the middle of nowhere. Like it just gets a little frustrating. There's also in the section I just did, there's a little bit of actual combat involved, and
Really?
it's not good.
Oh no.
It's like the timing is all super weird on the stuff you have to do. And there was one section I had to redo probably like 15 times because I could just not get it. And I was about ready to just shut off the game. It can get a little frustrating there. When it's the puzzles though, and the puzzles are well designed, I think it's a really good game. I wish they would concentrate on that more than the stealth sections and the action sections.
Jason,
But
did you ever play the first one?
No, did. You guys both play Little Nightmares 1?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't play it.
It's a poor man's Limbo inside.
yeah.
That's so. Yeah, I mean it's.
They nail the environment. Like it is
Oh
so
yeah.
creepy and gross, and it's great in that respect. I just think the gameplay sections could be a little more refined, and they really didn't improve it enough from the first game.
This seems like a wait for Game Pass game for me.
Yeah.
Because I think Little Nightmares 1 is on Game Pass right now.
It could be. It is EA, so eventually it'll get added to their vault, which will be part of Game Pass.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot it was EA.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely up. I'll probably be there in 6 months, and I can just play it then if I want to.
It does have a certain aesthetic. Like I didn't look at any footage of 1 until 2 released recently, and so I was kind of like, why didn't I play Little Nightmares 1? And don't really have a good answer to that, honestly. But I looked at the screenshots and video, and it's got a certain thing going on, like a Burton-esque thing.
Yeah.
Is that a good way of
stop
putting
motion, creepy? Yep.
Yeah.
It's got a look.
And you're generally not like super into platformers, right? So maybe that's kind of why. I don't know.
I'm more into 3D platformers, which is why I have such glowing things to say about Balan Wonderworld. Can we talk about that some more? No, I'm more 3D platformers than I am like
2D.
2D. I mean, I do love Limbo. There's a few like Braid, Limbo, Ori, but I do think like it has to be a really standout one of those. It's not my jam. It's not my genre. It has to be something like Ori. It has to be like something everyone talks about and says, no, gotta play this regardless what you're into. This game you gotta play, and those are the ones that usually are on my radar.
Yeah, and this one's probably gonna be the B tier.
Yeah, at least so far. Like I said, I'm only 2 chapters in, so maybe something will pop up that's amazing, or I don't know. But I'm having fun with it. It's just some sections are super frustrating.
Got it. Yeah, makes sense. How about Cyber Shadow? Where are we all with Cyber Shadow at this point?
I haven't touched it since last week, so
okay.
Go ahead.
And how far did you make it into Cyber Shadow last week?
The second boss is the farthest I got.
Okay. I'm on. I'm in level 2 somewhere. I don't remember where, but I think I'm done with that game. I keep trying to double jump, and there's no double jump, and it's really frustrating. There's something broken in my brain that thinks that there's a double jump in that game, and it's kind of hurting my enjoyment of it.
I don't know. Maybe there is later.
Maybe. I don't know. No.
Okay.
Jason, how far are you?
I have all the abilities. I think I'm on chapter 8.
Okay. Of
Um,
20, right?
of 20. Yeah, I found out
Mm.
I texted you guys. It's
Mhm.
longer than I realized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I unlocked the final ability. You do upgrade your abilities, but I don't think that ever translates into a double jump, Logan.
Mhm.
I will say that it's hard. Like
Oh yeah.
it's a challenging game for sure, and it's on my can play with my kids around list right now. So I usually play
Yeah.
about like an hour a day of it. Seems like, and then I might switch over to Assassin's Creed Mortal Kombat with another like free hour of my day, and that's pretty much it. I usually can carve out a couple hours a day, and that's pretty much it. Um, so I will say you're not going to change your mind, Logan. In fact, you're only going to be like you'll eventually reach a point of frustration, and you won't like you won't want to continue anyway. So you might as well stop now.
Mm.
Because there are some hurdles to overcome, and you have to really like it to overcome those hurdles. And if you don't, then don't don't even bother. Having said that, I really like it a lot. I don't know. It's it's got really good music. It's got a certain Ness thing going that I really like.
It's very Ninja Gaiden E is kind of what it reminds me of.
Then when you unlock more skills, it becomes more of like a modern video game,
Mhm.
like just enough, but it still stays true to itself. You know, the kind of stuff that you wouldn't see in those older games. You start to like move around faster on the screen than you would then, or gain abilities that you would never have, projectiles and parries and stuff like that. If a bullet comes towards you, you parry it, and then you can do a series of like really sick ass moves, and that all feels really good when you time it right. Um, but yeah, it's fucking hard. Like
Yeah.
you gotta overcome stuff. Like you just
Mhm.
and the only reason I'm overcoming those things is because I think I like it enough to do that. I don't get mad at the challenge. I embrace it and try to figure it out. Because there's a pattern to all these things, and then you eventually break the pattern, you know.
Oh
But
yeah. Mhm. There's a
you
couple
gotta
things that was just
try.
like, oh yeah, you're just trial and error a lot of times on like, okay, if I jump through here, the thing I think that drives me the most nuts is the bounce back after you get hit. So if you get hit by something, your character moves back a little bit, and that will knock you off a platform and completely ruin your progress. So that stinks. But and then whatever those stupid little moth things are, those things can suck it. I hate those things. Like that, because like you kill a big one, and then all of a sudden like four little ones shoot out of it. Like, like I've had enough, you guys.
Yeah, patience is a big thing. You gotta be super patient
Yeah,
with Cyber
that's for
Shadow.
sure. Yeah, you cannot brute force your way through that game at all, at all.
Yeah.
It's like a 2D Bloodborne.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
think it's that hard. Maybe it is. I don't
But
know.
I mean,
Maybe I
for
should.
me, for me,
God
it's
gamer.
already harder than Bloodborne is. But
Oh,
that's
really?
because I'm. I mean, you guys are old school gamers, and I am not.
I wonder if all my Mega Man is coming back to me then.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's
I
what's
mean,
going on here.
it could be. I mean, that's
Maybe.
there. I mean, Mega Man, you had to be the same way. You had to be patient. You did a lot of dying, and you did a lot of trial and error with that too. So that's why it reminds me a lot more of like the Ninja Gaiden. Did you play a lot of those, like the 2D Ninja Gaidens? Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
man, super hard.
They
Which
were
is
all.
thank
They were
God.
really hard.
I think I
I
played some at the barcade, like when we could actually go to the barcade, and
Mm.
got like one or two screens in and died, and was just like, nope, not for me.
Hmm. Yeah, those games were so hard. I mean, all of those NES games were just insanely hard. I think we talked about them last week of just how they were quarter dumpers. That was all they
Yeah.
wanted you to do. So, but yeah. Well, you keep enjoying that and tell us how that's going, because I think I'm tapping out.
Yeah, I
I
might go back
I
to it.
respect that.
I ordered the red the new red Xbox controller. So I wanted to wait for that to come in before I went back to play stuff on PC because I want to play stuff with that controller.
What do you mean? Like an Xbox Series X controller?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like shock red or something like that. It's like bright red in the front and white on the back. It looks really, really nice.
mm. Oh, because
And
you're playing.
it's got the new D-pad that we
Yeah.
have on our
hmm
Series X
Yeah,
controllers.
that D-pad. That's the only way I've been playing Cyber Shadow. Like I don't even touch the
Right.
analog
Yeah.
stick. D-pad's real nice.
Yep. So I kind of wanted to wait for that before I started playing. But that'll probably be the first thing I play with a new controller is just to go in and see how far I can get before I get super frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
Caleb, if you have the will to push forward, you will. But like, it's coming. Like
Yeah.
The
it's
wall's coming.
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, there were sections where like last week I had just run up against that boss right before we talked. I beat that boss on Thursday, and I played it for like an hour every day. So I think probably 4 hours just to beat that one boss, probably. Now,
Jeez.
granted, it didn't feel like that because like I'd sit down for a few minutes, play whatever,
Mhm.
Right.
sit down, play like 10 tries. Shit. Well, it didn't work. I'll try later. Another 10 tries here, another 10 tries there. But all it was I just wasn't recognizing the pattern. I looked at a YouTube video and then I beat it. So like maybe if I run into a wall like that again, I'll just go get advice and it won't be so frustrating, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that's just what you got to do with those things is just look at a different perspective or whatever and figure it out.
Just a pattern.
hmm
And then I was good.
Yeah. Speaking of D-pads, how's your MK11 doing? You using the D-pad with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. It's funny. Like, it's a big difference. That new D-pad is
It's tough.
it's really tight. Yeah, I don't drop combos like I used to in some
hmm
instances. Like, it just, it's pretty precise. I put it on the list is because like I cannot stop playing that game. I play a couple rounds every day. I can't stop playing it.
Play what you like. I
I
mean,
I love that game dearly. I really do. I don't I don't know. It's an all timer for me for sure. I really really like it a lot. Um, but that's it. I don't have anything major to say. I got a scorpion mask for this season, and I'm done with this season. Probably maybe play a few matches here and there, but like I got the thing that I wanted, and I'm good. Every once in a while, I don't know. I just really like the now that it's a bunch of like really dedicated players left. One match a day is usually like really sweaty, as the gamers call it, sweaty. Like this other person that plays it as much as I do and likes it as much as I do, and like we're going at it, and like it's pretty high level stuff, like compared to where I was. I was watching old captures of me, like I'm like looking at myself, and I'm just like, oh, like
what were you
you,
thinking? Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
like dude, just do this. But like I didn't know that yet. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I hadn't learned how to do it. I hadn't watched all these professionals play yet, so
Hmm.
I enjoy that because it's like you got me. Like good for you. I'm not even mad because like you made the right decision, the right choice. You countered the right thing, and it's really rewarding to like have two people go in with a plan and they execute the plan to the fullest. But whoever makes the proper decisions, those counter decisions, is the one that wins. Like this is your plan. You execute your plan, but that may not be what wins. It's because the choice you make in the meta. Like I know what you're gonna do here, and you call it out. And the person that usually calls out what's gonna happen is like, shit, like, or like I knew you were gonna do that, and like that's I think it's like a whole other tier of it. But also the good thing is I can like it's like 10, 15 minutes a day with it. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
play it a little bit and then move on with my life. So I'll
I,
try not to talk about it as much, but I thought I was going to be done and it's not going anywhere right
that's
now.
fair.
I love that game.
Although you may be interested to pop back in the Master Chief Collection here soon.
Oh, tell me why.
They're adding a new Halo 3 map.
Excuse me?
Exactly. So supposedly there is a free to play Halo 3 in Russia. Like they did these with like Call of Duty. Like there's a browser based version of these things in Russia, and they've got different maps and stuff. Well, for whatever reason, they're gonna bring that new map over and put it in a Master Chief Collection here in a couple weeks. Uh,
Interesting.
Okay. You
Like
Yeah.
keep me posted on that, Logan.
I will,
Yeah.
because like that's isn't that just really weird that they'd add a map to a game that's what 14 years old now?
We'll
I'm
just
willing to download all 115 gigs of that and try it.
can we just add this onto the ever-going list of Logan's responsibilities? It's Kingdom Hearts, GI Joe, um, Marvel, and now Halo, Russian Halo maps.
Mm. That's what I do.
In Russia, Halo plays you.
I keep track of the abstract. That's what I'm here for. So, uh, I think the only other gaming thing I have for this week is Hitman 3. I finished that up. Good times.
Good game. It's a really good game.
Good game.
How did you feel about the train level?
Not a Hitman level.
Yeah, I think you can play it like a Hitman level. Well, not necessarily in like the open world
I
kind of
changed
way.
costumes 3 times, but it's very linear.
Right. Yeah. So that was a little disappointing, but like there are a group of people that are very vocally like they hate that level because they think you have to kill everybody, and it's just like, no, you don't. You could play it like you play Hitman. You can change a costume and then infiltrate a group and then find cool ways to kill people. You can do that still.
I think
but
I only killed maybe 5 people.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have murdered a ton. I think at one point I did murder a whole bunch of people, but then I ended up getting busted. And so the next time I was like, well, here, I'm going to try to play it a little more pacifist, and walked right through.
Yeah.
So I only ended up killing like 1 or 2 on the way from one of the cars. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, I know. I just know that level has gotten a lot of hate on the internet, and I don't think it deserves as much hate as it's gotten, but it's also the weakest map by a lot.
Especially when you come off of the winery before that. I mean, that winery is great. The way I love how you take the wine tour and they're just like, here's how you would potentially kill this person. Here's how you could potentially kill someone here. But really, you kind of want to kill him here.
When you did the wine tour, were you the one of the tourists or were you the tour guide?
I was a tourist. I was not the guide. Okay.
You could also be the guide and
I
like
didn't know you
take
could be the
people
guide.
specifically to those areas.
Yeah, I was on the tour, and yeah, as the guide told me about all of the different ways that the Grave Crusher could smash someone.
Yeah, like I was the guide, and like Agent 47 doesn't necessarily say a whole lot, but Diana she was super chatty on this tour. So like we go up to the freezer, and she's like, "Oh wow, this freezer probably goes well below zero, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, definitely does." Oh, I just noticed there's no doorknob on the inside. No, you can't open it from the inside. No, that's correct. Oh, it's probably pretty thick walls here too, so you probably wouldn't hear a sound, and your cell phone would definitely not work in there, would it? It's just like she's just like the whole time like hint 47 hint.
Yeah, that level's really good. I like that one a lot. It was how did you guys end up disposing?
A ton of bugs on that level, but I think it is really well designed.
Oh, is that the one that had all the bugs that you were talking about? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I would put her in the crusher, like the giant crusher thing, and it would say like hide the body. And I'm like, there's no body here. It's a pool of blood. What am I supposed to do? Stuff like that just happened a ton of times.
Yeah, I guess because I don't remember what it was. Whatever the thing was that graded stuff up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just tossed her over the edge when she walked over there.
You can also there's a mission story in there for there's a sniper team that's like protecting everybody, and you can infiltrate that and then mark targets for them. So you can mark her as a target as she just walks outside. But every time I would do that, I would mark her the target and then say fire, it would count as the kill, but then it would say mission story failed every single time. I could not get it to trigger. So that's probably what caused the trophy bug that I was talking about last week. But um, yeah, just a lot of stuff on that level was super buggy for me. But I think it's I think it's one of the best design levels, just like the areas that you go
everything.
to. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Everything around it and everything else too. I definitely didn't kill the guy appropriately, I guess I should say, based on the mission story. I don't know I couldn't figure out what to do next, so I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna stand behind this thing and throw a screwdriver at his head and go out the door. So that's what I did.
Yeah, the mission stories for him are pretty long and involved. So but there are way easier ways to kill him.
Okay, because yeah, I was like, they took I was the sommelier. I brought up the fancy wine, set it down, and then they took Diana into another room, and then just nothing happened after that. I was just standing there, and I could not, like, nothing else would trigger.
Oh, it was okay. That's a bug. It was supposed to trigger a countdown timer where it said like you need to get to Diana before he kills her.
Yeah, like they just
That
took
didn't
Diana
happen
away, and he was just standing there, like at the table, and I was just like, well, I guess there's nothing else to do here, so I guess I just gotta
because
kill
so
him.
what you can do if you follow that through properly,
Hmm.
like if it actually doesn't bug on
Works.
you,
Yeah.
is she'll confront him and
Mm.
she'll kill him for you basically.
Oh.
And then she's like, it's really cool because she's like, um, I don't want to talk here. Let's meet me on the dance floor. And in his like the place where you kill him is like his apartment or whatever. And the Agent 47's like original suit is in that apartment. So you put on that suit and then you go to the dance floor, and that's how you end the mission is you dance off with Diana.
So
It's
that's what.
so
No,
cool.
that's what happened with me too. But because after I killed him and after I got to a space, it was like go rescue Diana.
Oh, okay.
So I still had to go get her from the apartment, but I had to kill two dudes to get her. And then she gave me the suit, and then we walked down to the center area and danced, and that's how it ended out, or how it
Yeah.
went off. Um, but yeah, it was before that. Yeah, I didn't have the confrontation between her and the other guy.
Yeah, it's supposed to trigger that beforehand, and then you're supposed to go to that room first, and then when he gets there, she does it for you. Basically, you have to. She like stabs him, and you have to like twist the knife or whatever to officially kill
Oh,
him. But she basically does it for you.
weird.
Yeah,
I'm glad I at least got to have that part of it, because yeah, that part was pretty cool. That yeah, you just put on your regular suit and you just walk on out,
yeah.
and then all of the double and triple and quadruple turns that
Did you
everybody
guys
did.
do the secret ending at the end of the train mission?
I don't know if there was a secret ending. I guess obviously not.
So you know how there's the syringe that like it has the for you like it'll make you
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
everything. So if you grab that and then stand there for I think it's 45 seconds, 47 will stab himself with it. And it goes to a scene where he's like forgotten everything that he's ever done.
really.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely just did Edwards and called it a day.
Me too.
I would assume that it's not 45 seconds. It's probably 47 seconons.
It might be.
I mean, that would make sense.
There are 47 trophies in this game, so they have attention to detail here.
Yeah. I didn't know that was
That
a thing.
that's actually reminds me of the other thing about Cyber Shadow. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the point value on all the achievements is super
Yeah.
weird.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's already thrown me off. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like
16, 16, 16.
yeah.
I'm like, what are you guys doing? Who the hell do you think you are? What are you doing? You haven't earned this.
Yeah.
Do a round number.
Yeah. It was messing with me all over the place. Gosh, all right. I think, are we ready to go into TV then?
I played more AC Valhalla. I like
Oh,
AC
sorry. I guess we
AC
talked about it for
Valhalla.
like 2 seconds. That was
No, it's fine. I continue to like that. We'll get into spoiler territory depending upon where Caleb is with that, if he returns or puts it down. But I will want to talk about some of the story beats as it goes, because it's actually starting to tick up at hour 30. Like it's starting to become as we talk.
30.
Yeah, as we talk about the modern trilogy, I think I like bike more than I like um more than I like Ivor, but I think I like Ivor's story better than
Okay.
definitely than the Odyssey story for sure. I think the interesting thing about um, the conflict between him and his brother, you're the one who's acquiring all this power for your brother Sigurd, and so you start to kind of understand why Ivar might be a little bit salty if Sigurd makes poor decisions because it's Ivor putting in the work, and some of that becomes like really like pretty easy to understand, but also um, there's like a good push and pull there that's actually worth examining. It's not like totally throwaway. I do feel like Caleb, you're right about the length of this game, especially for completionists. Like it's too much, like it's too long. But I don't know if I heard enough about after release anyway. Like the this is like this game was treated with care more than the other two. I feel like there's some throwaway side content, but like the core story, I think, is going in a place that I really enjoy. There's like a love triangle going on, and it's
Okay.
it's it's new territory for AC, but maybe that'll fall flat. Like I don't know, but I'm in the middle of it, and I feel like I'm right at the like the juicy good stuff. Um, so we'll see. I'm gonna have to. You can't mainline that game because it won't let you level wise mainline
Right.
it. Like you have to go out and do things to acquire the right level to progress. But I'm definitely not going to do everything. There's just no
Yeah.
way. Like there's just no
Yeah.
way. But yeah, I Ubisoft has one really like artistically and technically well made game, and they continue to invest in Assassin's Creed in that way, and I appreciate that because it definitely looks good. It sounds good. The production value I've talked about is good. And so far the storytelling is not too bad. I maybe it's because I was expecting less. Maybe my expectations are in check. That could be it too. But we'll see. Like if you decide not to play it anymore, Caleb, I'll probably get into spoiler territory and we can talk about it because I'm gonna see it through at
Okay.
this point. That's it. Sorry, Logan.
No,
Yeah.
don't
Just
don't apologize. You're fine.
my pickups were, I already talked about two of them, but
Mm.
Super Mario 3D World,
There it is.
Little Nightmares 2.
How much was Little Nightmares?
I price matched Amazon. It was $25 there. So it's normally 30,
It's not
but
too
I
bad.
did a price match at Best Buy just so I could get it
Yeah,
and not have
sure.
to wait.
Right. Yeah.
And then the cool one of the week is The Seventh Guest,
Look at that.
which is an
PC
old
box
PC
too.
game that I
Yeah.
played a ton of. It's an FMV puzzle game, and I love this game. And I found it for, I think it was $12 on eBay. I'm like, sure, I will grab that for $12. So
Is that the original box?
I think so. I
That's
think so. It's
awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
one
those-
of the original boxes. It's hard to tell with old PC games if it's like the original or if the second run or whatever, but it's good enough for me. It's good enough for my collection.
It's good enough.
Reminds me of those old massive PC games, the
Yeah.
big cardboard. They were all different sizes. None of that
Right.
stuff was regulated, you know?
Yep.
You go to like even regular retailers and they'd just be like having trouble merchandising these things because they're like all different sizes and shapes and stuff. Yeah. It makes me think of that episode of Mythic Quest that is like the the prequel to the whole story where
Yeah.
they're like looking at old games. And it makes me think of that.
But yeah, if you want to go to TV, that's good.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go to you guys because I didn't really watch anything new this week. So
I watched a bunch of bad pilots.
that's your life
Actually,
right now.
it was it was a really weird week for that because it was all over the place. I gave so let me pull up my rankings real quick here. So there I did 2 1-star reviews. I did a couple of 3 stars and then 2 5 stars this week. So like I've only given 5 of those all year so far, and 2 of
Wow.
them came from this week. So it's been kind of all over the place this week.
Okay.
First of all, The Equalizer, don't watch it. It's awful, terrible, terrible, terrible. Clarice is okay. It's fine. It's don't watch it, but it's way better than The Equalizer. If for whatever reason somebody held a gun to you and said watch one or the other, watch Clarice.
Okay.
But the two that I'm excited about from this week, one is The Head. It's on HBO Max. I think it was a like a Russian show or something. But Jason, I highly recommend this for you, especially. It reminds me a lot of The Terror, like the first season of The Terror, where it's kind of a mystery, like like a huge. I don't know if they're gonna have the supernatural elements that The Terror had, but it's a mystery set in like just a frozen tundra area. I am super into it. I want to keep watching this for sure.
I really do like the first season of The Terror. I really do. So
Yeah,
that's a good thing to hear.
Hmm.
The Head.
The
Okay.
Head. It is technically a foreign show, but like 90% of the dialogue's in English, so you'll be fine.
Ooh, is this done?
Yeah.
I looked at this actually this week,
Yeah,
but I stopped because I wasn't sure if it was in a foreign language or not.
yeah, there are some subtitles, but it's almost all in English. And the other one from this week that I really liked was the Snoopy Show on Apple TV.
Is that good?
It's really good.
Okay. I need to watch. I was gonna. Do you think my kids would like it?
I think so.
Okay.
The thing is, like, I came into this show because you hear it all the time when people say like comedy's impossible now because whatever you say is going to offend somebody, and people that say that have not watched the Snoopy Show. Because it is absolutely hilarious, and it's the most like just unoffensive humor you could possibly have, but they nail it. I was laughing pretty hard through the whole episode, and this show is meant for kids, so like I really enjoyed it. I only watched one so far, but I will probably watch the rest of those too.
I'm excited to hear that because I too was like, this is giving me a good vibe. I want to check this out. So that's good.
Yeah. And then the other thing on my list was I wasn't sure to classify it as a game or TV. Have you guys heard of fan-controlled football?
Yes. So
I haven't.
yeah. Oddly enough, Jason, I think Bob Maneri has a lot to do with this.
I don't know who that is, but it could be.
He's the guy who the Buffalo Wild Wings commercials, the voice of the Buffalo Wild Wings commercials.
Oh, okay.
He's actually so the weird thing is this guy is actually probably like in his mid-20s, maybe late 20s, and he just has a really good announcer voice. But he'll do commentary over like really odd sports videos, and it's always like, look at this fucking guy. Like,
okay.
it's just
I know what it is.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, you've heard the stuff before, but
he does the combine video of the white guy. Like a bolt of firecrackers out of his ass, Peter. That's amazing. Dion's blown away. Dion's like, are you white? Are you fucking white? The fans are going crazy. And there's the brilliant thing is like there's no fans when he says that. Like it's showing the crowd and there's no fans at the combine. He's a funny guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so fan controlled football is well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a football league, like it's a real American football league, but the fans control everything.
Plays everything.
Yeah, everything. So the uniforms, the fans voted on the uniform designs. The referees were all wearing like pink polos because the fans said that they should wear pink polos. They do a game of rock paper scissors instead of a coin toss because the fans voted on that. The coach on the sidelines was wearing American flag pants because fans voted that he should be wearing. Like everything is fan controlled. But the cool part about this is during the game you can join a team, like whichever team you want, and you pick the offensive plays that they're going to run. So like you're like, okay, well, there's 30 seconds left and we need a touchdown right now, so we should probably do a long bomb. So everybody goes on and votes for a play, and then whichever play has the most votes, that's the play they have to run. Every week there's a new draft, so I think you can like franchise tag a couple of players, but other than that your entire roster shifts every single week. It's crazy. I love it so far. That they just did week 1 on Saturday.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel is one of the quarterbacks.
Yeah. He's the only player that I've recognized the name of.
Didn't Marshawn Lynch show up and like?
He's one of the owners
Yeah.
of one of the teams, and he was in the commentary booth, and this is all just on Twitch, so it's like he didn't have to filter himself at all. So he's just him and Richard Sherman were on together, and they're just dropping F-bombs and like because they're the owners of competing teams, so they're just trash talking each other the whole time. It was phenomenal. But then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go suit up and I'm gonna go play. And like they literally showed him like in the locker room putting pads and everything on. I'm gonna guess that some lawyer or something was like, "We are not insured for this. You are not playing."
Like, wait a
I
minute,
think
hold
he
on.
actually was serious about it.
Well,
Like he
'cause
wanted to go out and play.
Didn't he technically play this year? Wasn't he on like the Raiders or something?
Was he? I don't remember.
I think he's still playing. I think
That
he's
might have
still
been
under
2 years
contract
ago.
from somebody.
Could be.
That might be an issue.
Yeah. But it was a blast. I mean, the football itself was just a trash fire. Like it's what is it, 7-on-7, I think.
Mhm.
And like guys were dropping passes and missing tackles. It was horrible football, but as a proof of concept, it was so much fun. And the technology actually mostly worked, which was kind of a miracle. So
yeah.
I'm on the Wild Aces, and we
Mhm.
are undefeated so far. So I think I have part to do with that because I was calling some of the plays.
Mm.
I called one of the plays that scored a touchdown. So just saying.
Well, no wonder you love it.
Mhm.
No wonder. When do the games take place?
Saturday nights. I think it's there's only there's 4 teams in the league, and so they just keep rotating. And they play them back to back, and each game is only about an hour, so it's a quick thing. It's 2 halves with the running clock, so they go pretty quick. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing this.
Is the archive up on Twitch? I'm sure it is.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. I may go see it. They could
yeah.
probably put it all over the place, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but probably it would be more fun to participate as you're like, be there
Yeah.
picking
You
teams.
only call offensive plays.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Otherwise, there would be blitz all like.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing is at the beginning of the game, the first 3 plays from the Wild Aces were all just deep bombs. I'm like, come on, guys, we can't just deep bomb all the time.
Right. Yeah, it's not gonna work. So.
We're not playing blitz over here.
And blitz
And then
is
you
fun.
say, why not? I mean, why shouldn't I be
guess,
playing
yeah,
blitz?
that's true.
Maybe I should go play blitz.
Yeah.
Caleb, did you watch any more Lupin?
I have not yet. I will go back to that, but I have not watched any yet.
Yeah, I finished that. It's good. It's not great. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like blow your hair back amazing. I don't think it sticks to landing very well, but only 5 episodes.
Do you think it's more procedural or serialized?
Serialized is where they're headed. Yeah, definitely. The first 3 episodes are procedural, and then the last 4 are building towards more of this show.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe it's similar to the AMC model of 5-6 episode first season to see how it does, and then we'll expand upon it, or if it will always be a show like Luther, or I'm trying to think of another BBC show that's like that, but like the occasional show that comes back once in a while. I don't know what their plan is.
Like Sherlock.
Yeah. So yes. Yeah. Shows that are not on with a regular cadence. They just get to them when they can, kind of a thing. But I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. It's not great. It's definitely stories you've heard before, and maybe because it's based on Arsène Lupin in the first place. You know what I mean? Like maybe people have been robbing from this or inspired by this in storytelling for hundreds of years, maybe, because it's not doing anything new. It just does it pretty well. Like it's an okay show. I would say you don't have to finish it, in my opinion, but it's also good and probably better than some of the pilots you're watching.
Yeah.
But you do you, boo. You do
I can
you.
guarantee you it's better than The Equalizer.
There you go.
I mean, that actor could take a shit on the screen for an hour and a half, and it would be better than The Equalizer. So there you go.
Sometimes you just That's all you need to hear. That's
I mean, they put that show on after the Super Bowl like it was going to be
Yeah,
something. Like
yeah.
that's
That's actually interesting you say that. I was listening to an interview with there was a former executive from Fox, and they were asking him about how they used to handle the after the Super Bowl time slot. And he even said this is a huge mistake. Like, we tried to put pilots there, but they never worked because you would get a huge amount of people to watch it afterwards, but then all you're doing is getting a lot of people to watch a bad show. So no one's going to keep up with it in the weeks after. So he said from then on out, his goal was he always put in actually, I'm sorry, it wasn't Fox, it was NBC.
mm,
So he would always try to put in an existing show there and do a Super Bowl theme, because that would get people excited to stay on, not just through the Super Bowl, but also through the post game show, which NBC always wanted to do a long post game show,
mm.
and then watch the episode, and then even maybe stay on for longer than that because the TV's just been on that long. So he said that he thought it was a huge mistake for them to try to put a pilot on that instead of going with, like, whatever their biggest sitcom is right now and just do a Super Bowl episode.
I mean, they'd probably be better off in all reality doing like a hey, who's your late night host?
Yeah.
Just throw them on
Is it
and
Colbert? Is he?
yeah, CBS has
Yeah.
Colbert, NBC has Fallon, whoever the hell I'm trying to think
Or
who else.
take what would be their big? What's their big? The Big Bang Theory is over, so I'm not sure what their big
Young Sheldon.
sitcom. Yeah, do. I mean, that show already. Yeah, that could actually work because show already has some football ties. Because his dad is a football coach in that show, so yeah, it's just something like that would have probably
Young
been a lot better.
Sheldon gets tickets to the Super Bowl and
Yeah,
whatever. I mean, yeah, you
yeah,
could easily do some dumb tie-in for it than other than the Equalizer.
right.
Ugh. All right. Jason, do you have any other shows?
I watched one episode of The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel.
What is that?
It's a 4-part documentary on Netflix about a young woman who is traveling to LA from Canada, and she disappears at the hotel. And the investigation about it. There's some really like odd footage that is captured from the hotel elevator where she's acting erratically and it looks like she's hiding from someone, but then like she's also could be on drugs. Like, it's really kind of like upsetting, honestly, because this is moments before she disappears forever, and then they can't find her in the hotel. Like, she doesn't leave, but she's clearly not there anymore. And so it's a four-part docu series about that. First episode's okay. We'll see if it sticks the landing. I don't know, but that's it. I only watched one episode, and because I am who I am, it's a movie about a serial killer. It's got Rami Malek in it. I had to go ahead and watch The Little Things on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
First half of that movie, you're like, all right, okay, I see what you're doing. You want to be Seven. You're not as good as Seven, all right? But, you got you got Denzel Washington, good actor. Rami Malek, good actor. And you're hunting a serial killer. Okay, all right, looks like Jared Leto's the serial killer. Jared Leto, also good actor. Like, okay.
He can be. He can also be a terrible actor.
But yes, and in this case, come to find out, not so great. The second half of that movie, it earns its Metacritic in the second half of that movie. It's like the Yakuza writing team kicked down the door and said, "We got it from here. Don't worry." I mean, it's just like it's
going, then just the rails just
and it's not great, but it's like it's fine. Okay, this is good. Like, everybody's playing their part. Like, I want to nail him. I want to nail him. And you're just like, yeah, he's killed a bunch of people. This isn't good. And then it's just like the some bad acting and some bad writing and some bad directing. It's just it's almost, this is like the back to Balan Worldwide, Caleb. Like, it's train wreck. You almost got to see it because it's 3 really good actors. Like no, don't. No, why would you? No, don't, no. Oh, you're just watching it. It's just such a mess. It's just such a mess.
Yeah.
And it could have been all right. Like somebody just needed to say no and like kind of steer this project in the right direction, but
Hey,
that didn't happen. But that's it. And that's a movie. I know it doesn't count, but
Yeah,
that's
I mean, it's something. I mean, at this point, if it's kind of on a streaming service and it could tickle our fancy, that's also fine. Um, I would somehow, I think I've technically watched a TV show that I'm not proud of. Uh, my because my wife has been watching the show, and then I'll come in and as I've finished up playing games, and then she's finishing an episode. I have somehow, I think, watched most of Virgin River on Netflix. That shows very much. That's a show for females. That's a romantic comedy that is like, boy, is it very predictable. Like I in the little bit I would say I watched probably 30 to 40% of that show. As it got to be the penultimate episode, I just said, "Oh yeah, that he's gonna die." Like the main character, like something bad is gonna happen to him next episode. 'Cause there's like two main characters. There's a guy and a girl. Sure enough, into that episode, cliffhanger, he gets shot.
Spoilers.
I know, right? Yeah, he gets shot. He's laying on the floor, and that's how they cut to black of the end of the season. And I was like, "Yep." She's
Oh,
like,
he lived though.
"No, man."
If
Well,
there's gonna be another season, he lived.
so the premise of the show is it's this like small town, and I don't even know where the hell it's at, Virgin River, wherever it is, but this big city nurse comes to town. She's like a nurse practitioner or whatever, and like the old physician in town, and he needs to retire, but he's not ready to retire yet. And she's gonna come in and be a nurse practitioner, and he doesn't trust her because she's just a nurse practitioner. And yep, a lot of small town type archetypes throughout the show, and just yeah.
so when do people try to take their land and then like they all get murdered when they try to take that land?
Oh no, this was a logging industry
Mm.
that they were running drugs out of the logging industry, and the
Okay, go on.
right, yeah, and but the um Jack, the other male character, he just runs a restaurant, but he's more than a restaurateur. He's also he's just a stand-up guy, and he didn't want his friends getting involved in the logging industry because he knew there was more going on in this logging industry than the meets the eye. And yeah, so
Jack doesn't like murder enough.
no, he doesn't.
More murder, Jack.
So you just
That's how you get me to watch it.
yep, yeah. I mean, Jack's laying on the floor bleeding out right now, so I don't know what's gonna happen to Jack, but that
So as long as any time someone tries to leave Virgin River,
mhm,
they die.
mhm.
Because when they go to the bus stop, they die in Yellowstone. So like take them to the bus station.
Okay,
Yeah. So as long as that happens, we're good. I'll watch it.
okay.
Right?
I'll let you know as soon as I mean, they might go off the rails here and just say, "Yep, all right, we're doing this. We're just gonna start taking people out to the bus stop of Virgin River," and just uh, yeah. I think this is from the same person who does Grey's Anatomy. If that tells you anything,
Oh well, I'm not gonna get enough murder then. Okay.
no, it's just
All
not
right.
gonna be enough. But
Okay.
yeah, they
It doesn't surprise me that your wife's watching that show knowing that though. That
right.
that falls right in line. That makes perfect sense.
If
Yep.
she was watching that and also like the Vanishing one that you're watching, neither of those would surprise me. Like that's just
The Vanishing of the yeah, she's also
Cecil
watching
Hotel.
that. Yeah,
Is
Okay,
she?
yep,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Yeah. See, that's the one. Like, I'm not on the gray side of your wife's brain, but I'm on that other side. Like,
right.
that's where we share some.
Murder porn. Yep,
Yep.
that's the
Yes. Big fan.
yep.
Big fan. See, maybe she should watch Yellowstone. You're not going to watch
She
it. but
likes
maybe
real
she'll like
murder.
it.
She doesn't like fake murder.
Oh no! Come on. Yellowstone's as real as anything else.
And Kevin Costner's about as real as it gets. So
He's still real to me. Damn it.
yeah. And then I guess we'll end our episode as I felt like we have recently. Where are you at with WandaVision, Caleb?
Oh yeah. I mean, I watched this
I'm
week's.
sure you were caught up. So just Jason, to catch you up, you know how they've been doing each decade and the theme song intro. This week was Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty good.
yeah.
And I kind of wonder if that was a business decision because the entire run of Malcolm in the Middle is on Hulu.
Mm,
And if people are like me, I immediately stopped watching WandaVision and went and watched some Malcolm in the Middle.
really? You just stopped that
So
episode and was
no. Afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after that episode, I was like, yeah, I've never watched I've never. I mean, seriously is a stupid word to say, but I've never seriously watched any Malcolm in the Middle. It's just always been one or two here when they were on.
Yeah,
So
I would venture to guess I'm probably watched less than 10 episodes of Malcolm in the Middle through my
yeah,
life. Yeah.
right. But now I'm watching them on Hulu, so they have a win-win there.
Mhm. I mean, Bryan Cranston. There you
Yeah.
go. But
The first episode of that show starts out with Bryan Cranston just completely 100% naked getting shaved by his wife.
hmm
So,
yeah, I remember watching that and was like, what is going on here? Yeah, WandaVision seems like we're going. I think
so
we're 2/3 of the way through. I think so.
yeah, and apparently the last 3 episodes are all hour long instead of half hour.
No shit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I'm curious if they're going to keep going with the sitcom thing or not because of that.
I think
So
they
we'll
only
see.
got one sitcom left in my mind. If we're truly going through the decades here, the only thing that they could have left to do, which my guess is going to go this route, would probably be the Modern Family route.
Could be. They got Modern Family, they got The Office.
Yeah.
Actually, they got 2000s and 2010s to work with here. So Malcolm in the Middle was mostly 90s, wasn't it?
Was it? I felt like it was mostly 2000s. It
I
was
could be
late
wrong.
90s, early 2000s. So yeah, but even at that, what were sitcoms in the 2000s that would be worthwhile? I felt like that's still The
They could
Office
still do
and
like
Modern
Friends
Family.
and Seinfeld.
I guess I'm thinking it would have to be a family show, like
Yeah,
a specific family sitcom because they have kids.
yeah, that's true.
But I don't know
Yeah,
where.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
I,
I hope they have something in mind,
I hope they
but
have one more in them because I feel
at least one more.
because yeah, I think we're at the point now though with that show where it's gonna turn straight Marvel movie on us
Probably,
pretty
yeah.
fast. Um, I can't imagine that show goes back to the well of the sitcom stuff. I mean, it's been great, but I think we're at the point where it's got to go full Marvel.
Yeah, I think you're right. You probably make the turn, which I think the episode where they introduced the Marvel stuff I think was kind of bad, kind of honestly,
Oh, it
like
wasn't
just
good.
poorly
No.
paced and not well acted. But now that they've kind of caught their stride with like the story and where the characters are and what they're doing,
Yeah.
I think it's working now.
It's working now, yeah.
It was
But
just a really rough transition
yeah, I wish they would
getting
have
there.
blended a little more like they have the last couple episodes have
Yeah,
been well blended. But yeah, that one episode, I think it would have been episode 4. Like it was just kind
four.
of like
Okay,
it's like really this
that
whole
and
episode's
Kat
gonna be.
Dennings is just kind of annoying,
Kat
but
Dennings sucks. Like her boobs are great. Don't get me wrong, but Kat Dennings is not a good actress.
right. So
So
yeah, we'll see where they go. But I am in, I have gone through like a bell curve with this show on my enjoyment of it.
yeah, I mean, because yeah, it definitely did one of these,
Yeah, yeah,
and then now we're back up to here. So we'll see. I feel like yeah, when it ended on a pretty good high this week.
yeah.
I felt like it was good suspenseful high, and I don't know where we're gonna go from here.
Right. That's the thing is I think after last week's episode, I think every Marvel fan was like, "Oh, they're very clearly going in this direction." And now at the end of this episode, it's like, "Wait, there's like 3 or 4 other ways they could go as well." So it's back to being a little bit more mystery again, I think, which is good. I
I
think it's a
like the
good
mystery
thing.
factor,
Yeah.
and I like the fact that it's this weekly thing, and that I can't just watch
Yeah.
it immediately.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I know somebody that's just like a complete opposite of that and just is like, I don't understand why they couldn't just release them all at once. I'm tired of waiting for them all to release because they keep getting spoiled. And I'm like, just watch them weekly and then you can join in with the spoilers and have fun with people. But Nope. Just not going to happen.
Yeah, like, see, I hate the fact that the person who can watch, like, oh yeah, I've watched the entire season already. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like now you can't talk about it at all. But this is like, hey, you've got a quote unquote water cooler talk for the week.
Right.
Like there's something to be said for that. And so I'm glad that they're doing it that way. That them and HBO are doing it the right way. I feel like the Netflix style. I think it
Well, I think it depends on the show. Like, this is a bigger conversation now that we don't have to get into
Right.
tonight. But I think that certain shows benefit from one model or the other.
Right. If they did,
and
like,
I think this show benefits from this model.
Stranger Things, when it comes out again, should follow this model.
I could see that.
I think that leaves a, every week you get people talking about stuff versus, oh, what episode are you on? Oh, okay, well, I can't talk about that yet, so I can only talk to you about
But
this.
if this was like an actual sitcom, it might benefit from just dropping them all at once. Just
Yeah,
watch
if it
however many
was,
you
I mean,
want.
well, hell, let's put it this way: if this was Virgin River, it could probably be dumped on all at once. But yeah, shows like this, these shows that kind of fall into a little more grander lexicon, I think, they're fewer and far between, but they could definitely benefit from this model.
Yeah.
Hell, I even enjoyed the flight attendant that way, having, not being able to watch them all at once.
Yeah, they did that. Didn't they do like 3 up front and then one at a time? Like,
Yeah, I can't remember if it was
another
2 or
weird
3 up front, but it was still something to have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess maybe call me old school with that, or I don't know, but I guess I just liked having that something to look forward to kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just easier that way.
That's it for me, though.
Yeah, I think we're all caught up here. So next week is what in the world was it called at Popeyes again? It was
the Cajun flounder sandwich.
Cajun flounder sandwich. I do enjoy a good flounder. I mean, that little yellow fish from The Little Mermaid. I mean, he can. I'm gonna eat him. He's done for. So, all right. Well, that works. This has been the Master of Unlocking podcast for this week. We'll see you next week.